Sagittarius, happy March. It is me back again. Quickly just want to let you guys know what was going on in February. So February was kind of crazy. So February we had the full moon in Leo along with the lunar eclipse in Leo. And then around the 28th, we had the solar eclipse and the new moon in Pisces. So that's what was going on. That's why everybody was going crazy at the beginning of the month. It was a huge emotional release that we all desperately needed. And we did it in a Leo way. So we did it, if you know any Leos, you know that just like you guys are fire signs. So huge hot flashes of bursts of energy, whether that's creative, whether that's negative, whether that's positive, whatever it meant for you guys. But for me, it was very dramatic, very fun. I just kind of had to take a step back and just watch it as it unfolded. Leo energy is very fun and dramatic if you know how to work with it. If you resist it, it just seems very drama, but when we're working with it, it's actually kind of entertaining, like, to be honest with you. And then so the solar eclipse and the new moon in Pisces. Pisces is compassionate, generous, fluid, shapeshifters, adaptable. They can also kind of have this victim mentality though. So when you're bringing in, with the new moon is all about bringing in, the full moon is all about releasing. So you released in a Leo way, but you brought in a Pisces way, which for some people could have brought in with a sense of feel sorry for me, oh, everything's going so horribly, and you brought in more of that victim mentality that we really want to steer clear from, because that is not conducive with Sagittarius. Sagittarius is, I love hanging out with you guys because I know that when I hang out with the Sag, they're not complaining, they're not talking to me about work, and like they're not bringing me down. They're always so uplifting, so optimistic, so progressive, very forward thinking. So even if I come to a Sag with a problem, I know that I'm either not going to remember it by the time I'm done hanging out with them, or I'm going to have completely shifted that problem into an opportunity. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. We need Sages in this world, especially right now. Saturn is in Sagittarius. So right now the Sages can feel kind of more authoritative, more focused on their growth, on maturing, more focused on, their responsibilities, their restrictions. So that's kind of what's going on right now, and it's been going on for about 2 years. And if you're born in 1988, around there, and your Saturn was in Sagittarius when you were born, you're probably around your Saturn return. I'm going to make a video about Saturn return because I'm going through it right now, and it has been incredible. So I'm digressing, of course, as usual. I'm going to do something different for you guys when it comes to this reading for March. Usually what I do is I'll pull a card and I'll talk about it. But now what I think I'm going to try doing is pull the whole spread and then try and see it as more of a whole. That way we're just getting right into the meat instead of kind of veering off. So the first card I'm going to pull is a situation, and I'm just going to put that there, and I'm going to go as I feel. And if it doesn't work out for me, then I will get back to basics and do it how I used to do it, okay? Thank you so much for bearing with me. Everything is looking really good. Your shadow card is the World, which is just all about realizing that, as I said, Sagittarius are so optimistic. They're forward-thinking. They're very not aggressive, but forward motion people. Like they can't stay still. Whether that's, I have Sag friends that just love to drive around. Like this one Sag friend I have, he'll drive to Toronto from, an hour away just to get his favorite poutine, things like that, where it's just, they look at world through a completely different lens. And if you're a Virgo or a lazy Libra like me, that is just unheard of, to drive out just for a poutine. But for a Sag, I really admire that because it's fun, right? So you guys right now are really really authoritative. Everything's, like I said, you guys are really growing into yourselves right now. You're coming to this standstill where it's kind of like a rebirth, where you have the Queen of Wands is your situation right now, coming into who you're meant to be and really realizing what you want out of this world. And majority of Sages right now are realizing how much they want to just travel and get a cultural perspective on life. Sages, we need you guys to travel. I was thinking about this in the shower this morning before I did your spread. I feel like it's the Saturn and Sagittarius generation and the Sages that are going to change the way the world views travel. You know, right now traveling is so expensive that we have these divisions where it's almost like you have to be of a different class in order to get cultural perspective, but cultural perspective should be free. It should be given out so freely. And Sages and the Saturn and Sagittarius generation, born around 1987 to 1989, and then also the age 50 and on around 54 and onward during your second Saturn return, these people are really going to bring in that focus on expansion, that focus on getting out there. And for me, I'm Canadian, so I can get different cultural perspectives just going to my local flea market. I'm going to have, you know, I'm hearing stories from people who were born in Jamaica and who were born in here and there, and I'm able to travel through their stories. So if you're feeling like you need to get away in order to get away, that's not necessarily true. Sagittarius also rules the ninth house, which is also about higher education, so traveling with your mind and going out into the far depths of the world through documentaries. You know, during my Saturn return in Sagittarius, watching that Malala documentary just got me so amped to help. And even though it wasn't that my help was focused on helping, you know, people in Pakistan and Afghanistan, but it reminded me to help those close to home. So that's when I started applying to volunteer at a senior's home. So with that knowledge of just helping and giving, I was able to transmute it into my day-to-day life, because to take on something that big is just disheartening and completely non-conducive, and you just feel like you need to give up. So I'm urging you guys, if you're feeling like you want to really travel and get yourself out there and really rebirth yourself and have a transformation, especially a spiritual transformation, which has Sagittarius written all over it, I'm urging you guys to just travel within the caverns of your mind. Go deep. Try to understand things from a completely different perspective that you were taught in school, okay? Because that's the true way to explore and to expand, is to revisit things that you were taught as law and maybe question them. Is that actually your truth? Okay, so subconsciously you're feeling very, very supported, feeling like you've been kind of daisy when it comes to your support system, though. Like, you haven't really been giving your support system the attention that they need or require, because you feel like you were always lifting them up, and now it's like, well, I want to start supporting myself and maybe start focusing on your own family and your own responsibilities. But you're thinking that your finances are doing really well. It's very feminine when it comes to your finances. When you think about male-female roles at home, especially gender roles. So females are usually, you know, the man goes out and gets, you know, the bacon, and then you get home and you fry it up. But once we started, I'm going to go off into my law tangent here, but when I got into law school, when I was in school for law, I realized that alimony came because the man went out and made all the money, but the woman was at home taking care of the house and the family and doing that support system so that the man could go out and get that money. So alimony was created so that the woman wasn't just left with nothing, because she sacrificed so much in order to get her husband or partner in that financial situation that he can now pay her alimony. So that's what I'm understanding when it comes to this card. You're thinking in the feminine sense where, you know, I have a hold on my finances, I have a hold on my life at home. You're really doing more of the groundwork, the support work, in order for someone else or even your future self to reap the benefits. So don't forget to pay yourself alimony, essentially, and realize that the work that you're doing, the inner work that you do, is just as important as going out and making those big bucks, okay? If that made any sense. I'm sorry if that didn't, now that I realize it. So something that would have just passed not too long ago was some heartbreak. It involved either 3 people or 3 situations that all melded together, and it just created this haze over you. And for Sagittarius, is to see you guys with a dark cloud over you is very disheartening, because you guys need to smile, you need to laugh, you need to enjoy life. So if this is something that happened in the past, please do the world a favor by keeping your smile, by keeping your happiness, and leaving this in the past. And maybe that travel is exactly what you need to distance yourself from this situation and get that broader perspective. Future card, it's really going to be, March is really going to be some time for inner work, some inner guidance, some inner understanding, because with 2016, with 2017 being so new and so fresh, we need to make sure that we know where we're going. So I'm just urging you guys to take some time to yourself to finish up anything that you haven't finished up in the past, especially when it comes to your finances, that inner work and that, you know, that at-home work that's definitely needed. Okay, so you right now are definitely building yourself up. People are admiring that you're building yourself up. You don't need to apologize for being MIA. You know, if you're doing your own thing, do your own thing. Like I said, Saturn being in Sagittarius is going to make you feel very serious, very hardworking. This is a great time to start new diet, exercise programs. This is such an amazing month for you guys to really go through that transformation. But time alone is needed, and you don't need to apologize for taking some time alone, because subconsciously you're 100% supported and your family is there for you. So family and friends, yeah, they're feeling they're at the beginning stages of their emotions when it comes to you, for sure. Feeling a little bit more like a child, where it's kind of needing your attention, like pulling on your leg, like, look at me, look at me. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Make sure that your family is understanding when it comes to what the inner work that you're doing right now, because if you don't feel supported, you know, that's how resentments form. So just be open and honest, be communicative. Sagittariuses aren't necessarily, they can talk your ear off about, you know, cultures and different perspectives and you know, anything that is out there. But when it comes down to the emotions, because you are a fire sign, it's a lot easier for you to just blow up without actually thinking about or feeling through what's going on. So if you have any water signs around you, especially Pisces, especially right now, reach out to a Pisces and just try and emote with them. You know, Pisces really can make you feel, and period, can make you feel. And that's really what's needed right now in March, especially because it's such a creative time. And the only way to create is if you're emoting and feeling those creative juices first and foremost. So hope and fear, hoping and fearing something new, that new work, that new materialization, that newness that's good. What's the fear? Honestly, go in and ask yourself, what are you afraid of when it comes to starting something new? When it comes to something new coming to you as well, what's the true fear? Are you afraid that you won't get that approval? Are you afraid that you can't approve it yourself? Are you afraid that you're going to fail? Go for it, because your outcome, your last card, is a beautiful, happy, joyous, very happy family life, very happy home life, new beginnings. You're going to enjoy the new beginnings. You're definitely going to enjoy the new beginnings. So just own it. You know, if you're afraid of it, go with it anyways. You know, that's one thing that I've been trying and practicing right now, is going with the fear, because when you have that fear, you have, you know, your heart starts to pump and your palms get really sweaty, and you want to just say screw it, but instead of just saying screw it, just take that little bit forward, and then you're quenching and satisfying your thirst for adventure and your thirst for action. Like I said, Sagittariuses are all about action and forward movement and growth. So even though it might be a scary process, enjoy it, because Sages need to feel that fire, that burst of energy. And like I said, that's going to work out very well. Keep this heartbreak in the past. Focus on how happy you actually and how amazing your life is right now. Life is very good for Sages right now, because you guys are getting down to what you need to get down to. There might be some lulls, of course. It can't always be up here. Even when you're a Sag, it can't always be up here. You're going to have some lulls, but just trust those lulls. Don't be too confused by them. Just understand that this is all what's needed in order for your beautiful, beautiful transformation process, which is leading into, you know, this happy, feminine, and creative energy, creating a beautiful new beginning. So I'm excited to see how your guys' March works out. You know what? That was a way shorter video by laying them all out first and foremost and just getting down to it. Before I jump off, I just want to quickly let you guys know that Venus is officially in retrograde. So I'm hoping to put out a video about it because I have a lot of questions regarding Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde, and I'm an astrologer, and it's been, for me, Venus retrograde. I got married during a Venus retrograde, so I definitely feel the energies of it. So Venus is all about beauty, finances when it comes to what you're buying, that's based on, you know, society and based on like your enjoyment, like finances when it comes to enjoyment, parties, things like that. So beauty, financial, like enjoyment purchases, pleasure purchases, relationships, lovers, legal affairs, any one-on-one relationships, whether that's employer, employee, things like that, that's all going to come back to revisit during the Venus retrograde. And the Venus goes back direct, so it ends its retrograde on April 15th. What Venus retrograde is, when it comes to like astronomy, is Venus is so slowed down in the sky that it's almost like it's moving backwards. So it's not moving forward, it's going, you know, like of course the solar system moves forward. It's almost like it's going backwards now. Jupiter is also moving backwards. Jupiter is, you guys, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so you're definitely getting the effects of it. Jupiter is all about expansion, growth, luck, optimism. So if you're feeling very pulled back when it comes to love, when it comes to how you view yourself, like how you feel beautiful, self-love, self-care, expansion, growth, any problems with travel, things like that, this is all because of what's going on in the sky. So just flow with it. Like I said, if a past lover comes up, if anything comes up that you need to revisit it, absolutely, clear it, use the Venus retrograde energies to clear it, and then don't make any decisions until at least April 15th, because if you do, you'll always question it. And I'm saying from personal experience, like I said, I got married during a Venus retrograde, and I got married during the last Venus retrograde, and now my dreams are all about exes right now, bringing stuff back up that we discussed 7 years ago, and this is now the time to really clear it and purge it out and just leave it for dead so that the next Venus retrograde, it doesn't come back up again. Okay, so I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for uplifting me. I love reading for you guys because I truly feel your energy, and it's so inspiring, it is so optimistic, and it is so much what this world needs right now. So keep loving, keep laughing, keep spreading your love to others, because you Sages are awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great March, and I'll see you in April. Bye, guys.